right, it is 7:02 p.m. on July 13th, 2021, and we are going to call the regular board meeting to order. You do roll call, please.
Yep. I have trustees Chris Samples.
Here.
John Talbot.
Here.
William Luxinger is absent. Nathan Maz.
Here.
Jen Christensen is absent. Bill Motisi.
Here.
President Rick Worm.
Here.
Treasurer Brenda Onabay.
Here.
I Clerk Sandy Maz am here. And Public Works Supervisor Brett Fergie.
Here.
All right, we do have a quorum, so we are able to conduct the meeting, but during the process, anything that gets voted on, I will need to vote on. Just so we have that's the majority. So if you would-
I think he needs.
Oh, hold up.
technical difficulties, we will wait.
I don't know which side it came.
You need a super majority on a regular vote, do you?
We just need to make sure we have to vote.
There you go.
Oh, you gotta have four
Yep.
vote.
Otherwise, it's tie and then I vote.
In the event of a tie. the
We'll go.
American vote.
All right.
That's the only time I vote, the event of a tie or repeal state. So if you would, please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We will move on to the consent agenda. If you could read the items, please.
Tonight for approval on the consent agenda of item number 1, the June 29, 2021 special meeting of the Village Board public hearing minutes. Item number 2 is the June 29, 2021 special meeting of the Village Board minutes. Item number 3 is the bills payable warrant list dated July 13th, 2021. Item number 4 is ordinance number 21-08, an ordinance authorizing disposal of personal property owned by the Village of Davis Junction, trucks, lab equipment, and electronics.
At this time, do any of the board members wish to remove any of the items from the consent agenda for further discussion? No. All right, and we'll entertain the two motions. First one.
I move to place agenda items 1 through 4 inclusively on consent agenda, as consent agenda items. Further, I move that all items be considered together as the consent agenda.
I would second that.
Chris makes a motion to place items 1 through 4 inclusively as a consent agenda. Bill seconds. Is there any, we don't need discussion. We had the opportunity to remove them. Roll call, please.
Jen is absent. Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
and William is absent. I don't need John, that I got 4.
All right.
We ready for the second one?
Sorry for the second one.
I move to adopt items 1 through 4 inclusively on the consent agenda in a single group pursuant to the omnibus vote procedure specified by the Illinois Municipal Code.
Second.
Chris makes a motion to adopt items 1 through 4 inclusively as a consent agenda. Bill seconds. Roll call, please.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
and William and Jen are both absent.
Both motions pass at 7:05. Okay, item C, we don't have anything on there that needs to come off. Do we have the utility bills?
Nope,
We will do that later then.
next week.
And to answer the question online, I'm glad a lot of the residents that did win responded to the DJ rants that said, does anybody ever win? Anybody can win except those that hold office in this village. We've excluded ourselves. Just so any of you new members might know, you can't win. Move on to the treasurer's report.
In the packet is the June 2021 treasurer's report.
Anybody have any questions on treasurer's report? If you do, please ask Brenda at any time. We'll move on to Sandy.
I do not have anything under this topic. I did receive a note from a resident, but I'll read that under the rate of discussion.
The attorneys are not here this evening. We did not need them here, but I did have a discussion with them today. We're looking at ways to further reduce our costs and for what things we do have coming up. We do have a few things in line for economic development. So we'll be working on those.
On that note, they will be here at the meeting on the 27th. Planning and zoning did have a public hearing yesterday, so they will be here on that day to follow up on that and hopefully discuss the proposal from Haywell LLC.
For the Vinnies?
Yes,
Thanks.
and storage units.
Storage units.
Yeah.
All right, then we'll move on to the committees. Community Development and Events is not here. Finance is not here. I'm assuming we don't have any emergency ratifications.
We do not.
Excellent. Ordinance Enforcement.
We've sort of had a lot of activity. We've got at least 5 letters going out this week. We've got some more.
Bill, can you turn your mic towards you, please?
Okay, we've had a lot of activity. We've had at least 5 letters that are going out this week, and I got some other ones to go on. So we're fairly active. Let's see. I think that's about it at this point.
I heard
Okay.
you hit the ground running. You've been doing a lot since you got back on the board, so thank you.
No,
Appreciate that.
no. There you go.
Move on to Parks. As you.
Sandy has a letter from,
Do you want to read do you want me to put that under discussion or you want me to read it before you make a motion?
we can
Probably
put
in
it,
discussion.
Okay.
that's fine. As we know, we talked about the skate ramp in addition to the skate ramp park, which is widely used by residents in our community. Gives everybody something to do, kind of a blend for the park. We have a lot for everyone. Nate went ahead and got a quote on a ramp, and that's what this is about tonight. So at this point, I will make a motion to pass resolution number 21-29, or in the amount of $6133.50, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of quote from Centurion Inc. doing business as Ramp Tech for purchase of ramp for the skate park at the Davis Junction Community Park.
A second.
All right, John makes a motion to approve resolution number 21-29 to Centurion Incorporation doing business as Ramp Tech, the purchase of a ramp in the amount of $6,133.50. Nathan seconds. Discussion.
I'll start by reading a letter. I received this from one of the teenagers, young gentleman who uses the park and the ramp system. And he said, could you please add a new 6-foot quarter pipe because there are more and more riders coming to the park every day trying to improve their tricks. We would also like it if we could get more room because it gets really packed out there. It would mean so much to us if you could add this ramp and some more room because everybody could learn new tricks and people would have more fun. The benefit for you guys is that there will be more and more people and you might be able to make a little more money because we will buy things from the concessions when it's open. Thank you, Ethan Bueller.
And to that, we had the time not too long ago that we had the spot where somebody had moved the ramps. We thought some of them had actually disappeared. It was actually the local kids that had went out and moved them around to make it a little more enjoyable for themselves. So I hope at least through this, we've all learned at least that we can communicate with them and that they have learned that they can communicate with us and try to make improvements when we can for those facilities.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Ethan for that letter, and I'd like to thank everyone that uses the park. I know they keep it picked up and they kind of police their own activities out there. And I thank all the ladies and gentlemen that are using it and doing that. It's very, very, very good qualities. Thank you.
I did see a Facebook post the other day from one of the young gentlemen using the park that somebody had done some vandalism and he posted and said, you know, you guys got to stop doing this. You're ruining it for us. And so we want to have these nice things. So you're right. They are self-pleasing. It's nice to see.
Yes, it is. Very nice.
Any further discussion?
Is Ramp Tech, is that proprietary? They're the only people that can supply it.
They are not, but it matches our existing ramp equipment.
So you're saying there's nobody else that provides the same equipment? I'm just wondering why.
That does not match our existing ramp
Is Ramp Tech
equipment.
build, they
So-
build this stuff?
We're going with the company that built it originally.
Yeah, so there are people who build it, and I think when Nate Hill will look in the future for a new skate park, he would be looking at multiple companies.
Sure.
But because he's buying one particular piece, he wants to match it to our existing.
Any further discussion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor,
Bill?
I'd like to thank that gentleman. What was his name again? Who wrote that wonderful letter? That
Ethan Bueller?
Ethan Bueller? Okay. He's a very fine letter writer. I agree with him that it'd be nice, to have certain amenities and stuff like that. And I don't know how long it's going to make us. It's going to take us to make $6,133.50 from the food stand or anything else to bring it into pay for this extra ramp. It is very, very tough. And not to be critical of anybody or any special process or things that are going on in the village, but I'm having difficulty trying to swallow $6,133.50. The park is a luxury, and that's the way I look at it. And I certainly wish everybody well if we wind up getting the ramp or if I prevail and we have to wait for the ramp. Right now, we're trying to auction off or sell or dispose of some village equipment, and the $6,133.50 would look pretty good to still have in the bank for us. That's the impression I get on this from where I stand right now on the hill. It's government. It's tough doing government. It's not an easy thing, but we try to do it the right and correct way and try to make everybody happy. I wonder if we could try to get this money from some other place to do this and make up for this expenditure. That's all I can say at this point, but thank that gentleman for sending a wonderful letter in.
I'd like to say, thank Nathan Hill for his hard work on this. Also, just so everybody out there and tuning in, this is budgeted in our budget. This is something we've been planning for years, additions. It's all been part of capital expenditures and things we've looked at expanding the skate ramp.
Any further discussion?
I just left 12 young adults that use that skate park pretty regularly at a baseball game that I was coaching to come here and vote on their behalf today. I think this is a great idea. I think that the opportunity and the space that they will gain from putting another piece of equipment there will only bring more attraction to that. I think the park that we have that's so beautiful here actually brings value to our community. I think that the use that it's available here, the beauty of it, the well-keptness, the continued improvements that are made there is what makes this town a little bit better than some of the others. And it appeals, it brings appeal if nothing else to our town. Without continued improvements and the things necessary to keep this town on top of its game, I guess, let's say, I think we miss out. And it's a lot harder to make up than it is to continue. So I think this piece of equipment is a continuation of a project that benefits our community and gives our kids a positive place to be. So that's my 2 cents.
Well, I'm sort of looking at it like you walk past a candy store and you can't buy everything in there. And we do have to tighten our belt. And I wish we would tighten our belt somewhere if you want to get something like this. Where are we going to get this extra money? Where are we going to be able to?
Bill,
That extra money was budgeted for in this year's.
Doesn't matter. I don't care if
is
it's budgeted.
Please, we tightened the belt during the budget. That's when we did it. Bloviating about us making an expenditure every week that's been budgeted for. I understand the concern and we're all concerned about it. That's why we went through the budget process.
Let's not go there because we didn't actually budget. The staff budgeted and we're supposed to approve the budget, which apparently 4 of us did. But it's not quite the way you're saying it. You're just saying it's out there as a budget, but I didn't see anything that was budgeted for. So
And
I disagree.
When you asked for a line item budget, I told them to get it to you.
And they didn't, so.
It's in your board packet.
well, now it is. That would
In your
No,
board
it-
packet.
that would be,
Yes, there is. It's on your treasurer's report. It's in there with all the line items
Alright.
in there.
he didn't have it before.
You put an account code next to it, that's a line item budget for you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to a vote.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Very confused.
Roll call, please.
John,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
Chris,
No.
William is absent, Jen is absent, Bill,
No.
Rick.
Yes,
Passes 3-2.
7:17. Anything further, Parks?
We're still waiting on Fairgram for some other data to come in so we can continue to move forward on the engineering estimates in the pond. I'm finished. Thank you.
Streets?
Nothing.
Utilities?
Nothing. Continuation of mosquito project is it, so that's all I have.
So economic development, we will have the recommendation, as Sandy said, on the 27th from the Planning and Zoning Board of Appeals. Will be here about the project. So we'll be moving on that.
I'd like to make a comment on the economic development. I'd like to share a thought with you.
Okay,
It is my earnest desire to see Davis Junction grow. And I'd like to think for in the future that where can we annex more land and give more growth and opportunity to our village? I think we should start thinking about that. I know there's costs associated with everything, but they do not make any more land. And I'd like to see us annex more land for our village to develop and move on in the future, which we certainly want to be prosperous and help grow and maintain the village of Davis Junction and its wonderful residents. That was just a thought I wanted to throw out there.
Any particular direction?
All for north, south, east, and west. I know we're limited on all those areas we can go, but I think we should look at them all.
the issue we run into is the landowner has to petition us.
They don't want to. They did, they would, right?
And where are we gonna find the money in the budget to do this?
Yes, we'll get it from John.
All right, without snarky.
Okay, thank you, folks.
So on the economic development, there are some things coming up. Like I said, the 27th, we'll get the recommendation from the PZC. Still trying to get the gentleman that wants to bring the grocery store to come out here and look at the land. He's still interested, but he seems to be very tied up, so I'm going to offer it to him that as long as maybe Brett and Sandy don't mind, that he can come out at any time and they could show him where the land is. We're just looking at right now as possible contractual conflicts with Dollar General, who might not be able to be over there. So we may have to go into the other land we own to get that. And hopefully that will meet his liking. And we have a couple of other business owners that are looking at possibly building, or business owners here already. I would like to see those move forward as well if we can, so we can try and spur more growth, because most of our retail space is full. And I think that says a lot for our residents that they support the businesses that are here, because they all seem to be thriving. Anybody else have anything on economic development? We'll move on to public comment. Any public?
We don't even have.
Glenda's not with us tonight?
It was a pretty hopping meeting last night. So no.
Wore her out, did it?
All right, without any public, anything further from any of the board members before we adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Sorry, Nate. Let Nate have that.
John makes the motion to adjourn. Is that correct?
Yes.
Nathan seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. We are adjourned at 7:21.